Okay, cool. Hi everybody, welcome back to season 2, episode 8 of Chat Bout Flim. Yay! Okay, today we have Nets Jenna, aka Rich Bad Nets, aka social media goddess, digital storyteller, YouTuber, overall hilarious person. Hi.
Hi.
Become a Twitter friend.
So yes, it's me, Gigi,
Simon the writer.
and we have other people. We have Jamie,
Yeah.
we have Matthew,
Yo.
and we have Shane.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Okay.
Resident old man.
So,
All right, so I know you guys have been waiting, and I know we had this long break, and we just want to just remind you guys to just be safe in this COVID time. Do what you have to do. Social distance, everything. Those who for vaccination, get vaccinated, all of those kind of stuff. But just want to get into the show and just big up my Twitter friend, Rich Vadnets. How you feeling today?
Hi. I can't even lie. I'm actually high, so I'm just here
Vibes.
chilling and being
Vibes.
very
It's
mellow.
all vibes.
Yeah, it's a vibe, but the thing is, the strain I take me more asleep. So it's like, I was like 2 minutes away from falling asleep.
Well, today's topic that we're going to actually talk about is rom-coms. But before we even get into the movies, we have a certain way that the show kind of flow, and we're going to get into those different segments. But we're happy to have you on the show. We love your energy, and I just want to tell everybody out there to check out our podcast, Nets Chat.
Yeah, let's chat.
Nets Chat, and we
With
have
you
Nets
and
Chat
Danielle.
on Nets Chat Bout Flim. Right? As corny as it may sound, we're just glad to have you. Moving on to the first section.
okay, so we're gonna talk about Bounty Killer, set to star in Jamaican film about Jamaican life. So remember this girl that sent us a movie called Cecile? Do you remember her name?
Get it right, did you get it right?
Anyway, so she's directing this film, and
Shasia? No, that's not it.
Shensia?
let's cut all of that because I want to get her name right.
We're not getting caught that. You get it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the story is a crime drama that follows a young man after he discovers a gun. The story's goal is to show young people and people in general that a life of crime is not worth it. Bounty was. Why you laugh?
Why you laugh? Why
Because
you laugh?
Why you make me laugh? Bounty was more than happy to come on board with the film's positive message, said Nixon. This is the girl that I can't get her name right. She went on to say that the film's script is still in its early stages, and while there's no full cast or crew, Bounty Killer is set to be on it. Do you have any comments on this?
Bounty Killer as an actor, that is going to be very interesting. I mean, he is a character in himself.
That's true.
You understand? But is he going to try and act, or are they bringing him to be Bounty Killer?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
You know what I mean? Because
That's interesting because I actually heard a gospel song with Bounty this morning
Sure.
wow,
on the radio.
Ned, so you feel about
Bounty
that?
going gospel, so I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like, as Simon said, Bounty Killer is like a character in himself. If you see him on that verse, you're just like,
Yeah.
oh my
Right?
God, like this man is like everything that's supposed to be in a movie. So I actually want to see him play a character and not come as like himself. I want
Wait,
him
and
to
not come as himself?
Yeah, I want him to have like an actual role. Like, I don't want him named Bounty because you have those movies where
Or play
people,
that same kind of character.
people just show up as themselves. Like when you watch Bring It On, All or Nothing, and Rihanna showed up as Rihanna. Like I don't want that. More want Bounty Killer show up as somebody named Judge or Junior, something like so. Make
People
more.
like the gardener or something.
Yeah, like him do something him up on the ends, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to
You
see
want
him.
real acting.
Yeah, I want to see him.
Well, that's also what actually comes to mind when I think that, because a lot of entertainers are entertainers, meaning acting shouldn't be difficult, but we find that crossover is not always that easy. So if Bounty is expected to do like theater to the point where he might be corny, I hope not. I don't mind if George talk like Bounty. If you get what I'm saying, so him come and him playing George and he's a gardener, but him talk like Bounty. So when I say as himself, I guess I'm more meant in his persona still,
Okay.
but not necessarily the character on the show is Bounty Killer, the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
You get me?
See him outside of the persona.
Is that possible?
I don't know. That's why I want.
That's why he wants to see
But that's
it.
why a lot of entertainers, especially artists and actors, and I feel like the only two people that I've seen in my life who are like singers and entertainers and then do acting is Queen Latifah and Jamie Foxx.
And Jamie Foxx, yeah.
Trust me.
Method Man's the bomb.
Oh yeah,
Method
Man
Man.
is actually really
And
good
Method
too.
Man
I'm sorry.
sick in the TV show. We had
Method
a
Man
little
is
run
really
through of
good
that
for
with
sure. So that's three.
Yeah.
That's
In
three.
Kimiko's episode, we kind of spoke about a few
Yeah,
artists, the crossover. And we threw Ludacris out there. You know, and
You know, I can sing too.
So hold on, the narrator Tyrese.
huh?
Tyrese, I think
Tyrese.
Tyrese just plays himself at this point because
Yeah.
same way
Yes.
he is in shows, it's the same way he is
In real life.
In real life, except in Baby Boy, I mean, I think him that Kelly.
Yo, Tyrese best acting is in that crazy viral video that him put out there. Congratulations!
Oh, also Donald Glover.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes.
But you see, it's funny because I don't think the crossover was. I mean, he was doing rap.
He was doing
Look
both.
at Drake.
I used to watch Donald Glover acting when I was in high school.
Yeah, and he was rapping
yeah,
then.
Donald
yeah,
Glover
that's
has
true.
been.
But he
acting
no,
out.
but
He
he
was
was
rapping
rapping
at
then.
the
He
same
wasn't
time.
famous,
He was
but he
rapping at
was
the same
rapping
time.
them.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Cause when before Community came out, he was putting out mixtapes.
Yeah, but is it that he was an artist before he went into acting? Cause that's all.
I mean, it can be checked. It can be checked, right?
But it
Comes
doesn't
in.
matter. The point is,
It's okay,
there
it's
are
okay.
very few people who can do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will actually look into that because that's interesting. Meaning, just to see how long ago he was rapping and how long ago he was acting. Because, as I say, his rapping was underground, was very underground. So what we might call the start of his career might not have been. In any case. So it's next. You want to see George again? Go. Hello. where the Clippers?
But I don't feel like
No,
a
need for
gardener can reasonably name George, so I think him a new name.
It's
like-
gone now. It's now gone. It's gone. Him can't be George again.
That's true.
We own George.
Yeah. It ever gets a well Jamaican name, like a Junior,
Donovan.
Blacks, you know, something like a N's name. That's what I want to hear.
Wasn't Ninja Man in a movie?
Whole heap of movies.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm trying to remember which. It wasn't in like Third World Cup or Dance of Queen. It was in Third World Cup.
Yeah. Him did in one movie just before him did get hold for stab the man with the scissors.
That's not funny.
Which other movie?
It's not Freddy Krueger. It's not.
What?
But him could have play Freddy Krueger still.
Right? If him not stab
You
people
know,
with
if
scissors.
anybody want to do a local satire of Nightmare on Elm Street,
Ninja Man is a
Ninja
person.
Man.
Man. Good. Freddy
Alright, no.
Krueger.
Visually though, Yellow Man.
That's rude.
Oh, really?
Why you look coming so?
That's
Why you look coming so?
that's.
No, I'm trying to imagine it though.
Yellow Man would be an easy Freddy Krueger. Don't need no makeup.
Man already look like Freddy Krueger.
Let's move on.
I'm sorry, this podcast kind of goes hard sometimes. But yeah, but I'm looking forward to see how that develops because my biggest issue sometimes with these movies about Jamaican life is that it will claim to be about Jamaica, but it's just really about the things that they want to market. You know, the violence, the gang, which I'm not saying cut all that out. Scarface is one of my favorite movies of all time. But at the same time, I would love to see what kind of creative approach, if any, that they bring. Yeah.
True.
I think that going
I
on
second.
a part of it where it come down to the story that
I mean, they can't have a Jamaican movie and a bus no gun.
Yes, you can. Okay, yeah.
What you mean?
A Jamaican
No, hold on.
You never see Cool Runnings? Jamaican movie with
No.
None of them are Cool Runnings.
No.
That's true, but I don't know. I think it's that a part of me really likes those things. You know, like sometimes when I'm sad, I listen to like gun tune, right? Because more
Yeah.
hear some Mara
Because it
fly.
make
So
you
you know,
happy.
sometimes
You want to hear some Mara fly?
Sure.
you know, like I love shutters, I love dance. I don't know the violence. I
You
love
know,
a sprinkle of niceness.
One of the
I'm
best
sorry.
Jamaican movies I've ever watched was filmed in the 70s. I think it was the 70s, and it's the one that with Paul name again, when The Lunatic.
Yeah.
The Lunatic is so Jamaican and so good with minimal violence.
Before watch it then. I don't know. I just personally like bus gun type of things. I don't like violence now,
There's
but
a lot more to Jamaicans and
cool.
Jamaica's story than Bus Gun. Yes, there's that. All right, let's be real. If you come from Kingston and maybe Moby, a bus gun thing you want to see for represent Jamaica. Fine. But there's a whole other Jamaica outside of that.
I wouldn't put that down to, in fact,
Kingston and Mobile.
to Kingston and Mobile. In fact, I feel like the people who asking for the diversity are mainly Kingston and Mobile. So it's a weird statistic based on the fact that you find that they're tired of the bus gun thing.
There's a lot of stories that.
But there's a lot of stories. So what I would say
A
is
whole
this. I do feel your sentiment though, where there's like an allure to that kind of violence and things like that. But I wouldn't say that you can't tell a Jamaican story without it. But there is funny because even when we tell those other stories, I think these are still people who encounter violence. So there's still a part of it where we know you're cutting it out of the story. So it's like, yeah, we can tell it without it, but deep in our heart, we know
It's a part of
it's
it.
a part of it. And it's sad, but it's a violent country we come from, you know. We get the angry slave them because them man them say go up on the plantation and reap, you know. And we get the violent slaves, and then that turns out to be some of the angrier people. You know, the Caribbean, and not just we as in Jamaica. You know?
So what you're saying is that you're not interested in like a uptown story. You're not
I
interested
mean,
in
I'd
that.
watch it, you know, right? No, I'm not saying
Okay,
that. I
that
watch
drop
it,
us
as I'm stay like, I just do things. I'm gonna say, John, when we do this for, but still gonna watch it. But it's just
Wow.
like, I don't know. I think maybe because of how I am, I'm like here, and then like reality's over here, and I'm like over here in my own life. So then when I see these things, I'm like, oh my god, this is so interesting. So like the things I hear and the things I watch in these movies, I'm like, I've never experienced these things. It's so interesting to me, you know. So like, I don't know if it's kind of like insensitive. I was like, oh, it have to be in there because it's what I'm used to hearing. Because we hear about news about Jamaica all the time. So you know, when somebody put a spin on it and say, hey, okay, we're gonna do a different movie, you know, and it do have violence, I'm like, oh, we're showing a different side to Jamaica, but I don't know this side because I've always seen like the violent part put on the forefront.
Portrayed.
So it's just like, okay, you know, I'm used to seeing it now, so I expect to see it all the time. Look on Shutters,
Yeah.
just the name of the movie, you know, and it's kind of interesting to see how they depict the bus going on screen.
No, Shutters is really good though.
No, it's a really good movie.
Really good.
Funny
And I
enough,
like action movies, so that's kind of why I want to see the bus
Okay.
going thing.
funny enough, my favorite version of Shutters was the stolen version. Right? You would say so I don't. Oh, you don't know the stolen version story? No, a lot of people know the actual Cecil Vera's the finished art. So the story behind Shutters is that in about 2003, 2004, all of the footage was stolen from Cecil Vera, is his full name? From Cecil Vera's like house or wherever he kept it. And somebody basically took it and put it in chronological order and just released it. There's that old bootleg version, and it was sold like hotcakes in New York and Florida, and then those bootlegs came down to Jamaica. So the bootleg DVDs had it. There's even a scene where right before Assassin is killed in Shutters, and right before he gets killed, there's a black thing that goes, insert stoplight. Like literally watch it, goes insert stoplight. And before I really knew about film, I was just like, why don't they just insert the stoplight? And then the soundtrack was just whatever music that person wanted to put. So there was a whole heap of Jay-Z and Ludacris.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah, and it's like it's all like ND filter, so it's like it's not colored properly. So it looks very tint. It's very tint looking, and it's just the start of the story all the way to the end. And then Cecil Vera, eventually he had backups of it, but he was just like demotivated. He didn't want to put it out, you know. And then eventually, like he got somebody because it got cult status, and there's a production company that I think put some funding into it, and they got the editing, and that. So you know the version where it starts off with like him in the shower scene, and I think that was added after as well, the shower scene or something like that.
None of that.
Yeah, you don't. So
You know
wait,
the bootleg version.
if you don't know about the shower scene, then that was added after. So they did like a few reshoots, and then they had it like flashback style, and then they added in all the other stuff.
That
When I
sound
saw
bad.
Shutters released, I was thinking that was like, oh wait, this is a sequel.
Yeah, no. They actually finished it. However, let's take that and move into the next session.
Okay, so our next part is about you.
Something local.
So you're
Hello, someone local.
Hi, someone local.
Hi.
We want to know like what made you start being the social media extraordinaire person that you are today. Was it book ups? Did you set out a plan?
It was definitely book ups. I mean, people do
Vibes.
set out.
It was
Yeah, it was
vibes.
vibes. Like honestly, people do set out to do those things, and I find it interesting. You know, people who like set up and say, okay, I'm gonna do this for social media because I don't believe social media is a real place. Like, Jono, there's life outside of
There's
it,
real
and
life.
I've been able to separate myself from social media life, and that's why enough time I said, Jono, something else can go on in my life though. But I actually started by being on Twitter. I used to tweet when I was in high school. That was a long time ago though. When I was in high school, I had joined Twitter, and I was just tweeting all the time, like the most random stuff. And that's how it kind of, built up from there because people started following me and I was like, all right, vibes. Cool, And I say, yo, so much people there on Twitter. Like, so much people that follow me. It's like, so much people there on Twitter.
Like you would say one foolishness and you're like 1,000 likes and you're like, where did it come from?
And I'm like, what's happening? Like, and then, people started coming to me like, oh, you're that girl from Twitter. And I was like, oh, shoot, people know my name. So at one point, I tried to change my name so that people could refer to me as something else. But it never worked out. It was actually very sad because everybody always knew me as Nathaniel. And I was like, oh, God.
What was the name?
I was trying to make people call me Kia.
No, that not work.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work at all.
No, I was trying to make people call me Kia. And it was not working at all. Like, nobody called me that. And I said, all right, let me just go back to Nathaniel. So it was pretty good. But I managed to make people not know my last name,
Okay.
so that was good.
Which
So
is what?
it's blank. But now people address me as Jenna, like even in emails, on the road, like people find out my actual last name, they're very surprised.
Okay.
Because they're like, we thought your last name was Jenna. And the only Jenna I know is Chris Jenna.
Okay.
And Kylie. Okay.
Right.
Candle,
And
sorry.
Bruce.
Yeah,
Caitlin.
Yeah, the original Jenna, of course. Yeah, those are the only Jennas that I know. But it's good that people think that I have that name because it's cool.
Do you have a preference, a social media preference, like Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok?
I used to be really obsessed with Twitter. Like nowadays, I love TikTok, but I really love Pinterest. And
Okay.
Pinterest is the only place that I can be by myself, and that's why I love it.
Okay.
Because I have thousands of followers on other platforms, but when I'm on Pinterest it's only me, and the piece that I get over there is unmatched. Like when I see somebody save one of my pins, I'm like, how did you find me? How? And I get
Pinterest is about saving other people's pins.
I know, but it's like, why? But it's always some foreign people still, so I'm like, all right, this not bad. But I
This not bad.
it's not bad because they don't know me, they're just saving my pin. I make
Yeah.
a lot of boards, and I get lost on Pinterest.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
Pinterest is an
Yo.
entire addiction.
Let me tell you, see Pinterest and Instagram's search page, those algorithms study you.
Yeah.
And TikTok.
No,
It's
TikTok
TikTok.
studio.
TikTok spy. I feel like
TikTok is
TikTok is
crazy.
doing the voice thing where I say something and then I turn on TikTok and it's like, oh, I was talking about
Oh my
Star
god,
Wars.
that's every app, especially
Fine,
Instagram. But
fine.
TikTok, I think they just watch it based on your likes, because I never used to watch TikTok. I used to make a lot of TikToks, but I never used to watch it. I used to start watch TikTok and I said, oh, this is so funny. I'm gonna start just top everything with fans.
Yep.
And then when I look at my timeline, I realized I'm on LGBT TikTok, and I was like, but then I went through my likes, and then I was liking a lot of the things that came up. So a lot of trans people, they make such funny TikToks.
Hysterical.
So I'm just tapping this, and then I ended up on that TikTok, and I was like, okay, I don't mind this, but I want to see what other people doing. So then I started liking a lot of Jamaican TikTok, and then enough Jamaican TikToks start pop up, and then I started liking Luxury Black Girl TikTok. And I reached from my timeline yet. I feel like that's intentional, because no matter how much I like it, it's still not come up. I'm upset. But now I'm on true crime TikTok, and that's not bad, because I like, those cold case type of thing. But when I go abroad, my TikTok changes, and I just be white people. I'm so sorry to white people, but I don't think they're that interesting for me to be watching their TikToks all the time.
What I do find interesting that I would ask you about is so I guess we could say met you on a Twitter space. I think we're both made speakers, and we both liked what each other had to say on the topic. I don't even remember what the topic really was.
It was about sex. Oh God.
It was, I remember overarching, but I think Ricardo Brooks had us both on, but there was a specific line of question that I can't remember. But I just remember messaging you after that and just saying, yo, this girl is kind of fun. And I look through and I see your podcast and all of that. I was like, oh, snap, I have been seeing these things. So my question would more be...
Plus hot to you?
What?
No, I said hot. No, like, it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot in here. Hui. Can always cut that. Yeah. So what I do find interesting would be, what do you think about like the type of influence that things like Twitter Spaces or podcasts can have? And I mean, I know this is a film chat, but I do believe that like movies and shows is one of those things that people used to go to for certain type of entertainment. But do you feel like that people are tuning into podcasts and Twitter Spaces a lot more than they used to? I mean,
yes, they are, and I think, well, especially with Twitter Spaces, it's just because it's like live. It's just happening right now. You know, you react. I mean, you talk to people, people respond to you, and it's just like this back and forth, and you're just like, all right, it's giving what it's supposed to give. You know, the girls are getting what they're supposed to get, and
the girls,
the girls are getting what they're supposed to get, and so it's that type of interaction that really make people kind of flock to it, because then you're hearing people's experiences. They get to answer in real time. You know, everything about it is nice. Podcasts is like you hear other people's opinion on things that you're already thinking about, in my opinion, or even things that you've never thought about, but then, you know, somebody say it and you buck up on it and you say, yo, this is actually very interesting, because I like podcasts. I like audio. I listen to a lot of music. I'm not really a visual person, but that's why I can't watch YouTube videos. And I say this to people all the time. It's very hard for me to watch a YouTube video, but I will have it playing and I will listen to it. You know, I don't know what's on screen, but I know what they're talking about. And so I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of my favorite podcasts, I'm like, oh, them tell them something here.
What's one of your favorite podcasts?
Horrible Decisions.
Okay, I love that podcast.
I love it. And I like Lip Service by Angela Yee. Like, it's just very interesting, the things that they talk about. And I'm a very curious person. So when I hear them talk about things, I say them something could have in a real life. You know, so it's interesting, and you get to hear perspective from other people, and that is what I really love about, you know, those.
Do you have a favorite Jamaican podcast?
I'm gonna think about that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right.
You know?
Yours is your favorite.
Okay.
No, I have one specific episode on my podcast that I listen to from now to like my deathbed. It is so funny. I didn't know.
Which episode is that?
The List.
The List?
Yeah, that episode was really hilarious.
Episode
and
number what that? Like,
I actually don't know, but it was recorded about 2 years ago.
and who was the guest?
It was just me and Daniel.
Nice.
So we're talking about what we want in men. So we wrote a list. Like, we took a week, write a list about the things that we want in men, and you know, we compared her list to my list, and it was a mess because my list was my list was so crazy. Like, the first thing on my list was like, man's supposed to have sense. You know, it's like, then her list was like, he's supposed to love God, and I'm like, the difference, you know,
So
between.
wait. No, I'm not say it. Go on.
No, it's just like the difference between, you know, her thought process and then mine. But then it's like a good couple years older than me. So it's like, whoa, this girl I think I was like 21 at the time, or 22, I don't remember. Probably one of them age there. And but I said, like, it was just really funny, and I don't know like what took place that day, but that podcast episode was really good, and I could listen to it all the time, even though it was just me talking.
Do you think there's a rise in Jamaican podcasts? 'Cause I don't know if you're close friends, but I know you know Kareem Boya things. He's making what I would consider strides in the Twitter space and in the podcast space itself, with how he's trying to get different topics out there. I mean, what place do you think something like this has in educating the masses?
It's growing. I believe that the podcast landscape in Jamaica is definitely, you know, getting bigger, and I love to see it, because people can talk about anything. Nobody know in a man and woman argument, to be honest. Nobody meaning me. I don't want to hear those stuff, even though I talk about it, you know, but I want to hear about, like, more you walk down the road and you bucket so, and you talk about like things on your foot, you know, like memories. More hear about, you know, crime. I like history podcasts, you know, music, you know, talking about movies. More wants to diversity, and I believe that a lot of it is there. More a motivational podcast. I even listen to a Spanish podcast. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know, I listen to it, and it's like it's because I want to be bilingual. So I say, all right, if I listen to a Spanish podcast, I can pick up like a context clues. You know, and I understand Spanish, but I just can't talk it. But I say, if I listen to the podcast, I can, you know. But with Kareem, no. Kareem is talking about topics that I don't think that people are talking about. Because some of the things that Kareem talk about, I wouldn't talk about it, because I'm like, yo, man, I really need to share my opinion on certain things,
I
and
get you.
I stay far away from those things. But I like that he is, using his platform to talk about those
Right.
things, and being very thought provoking, and that's good. A lot of people gravitate towards it, and he's making a lot of strides in it, and I do commend him on that. I like to see it.
Crossed over, hasn't he? He's like on News Talk or something.
Yeah, man. Him,
Yeah,
him
he's
have a
on radio as
show
well,
now,
too.
Yeah, man. Him making those steps. Him making some good strides. So
Yeah,
big
he's
up,
doing really
big up
well.
Karim everywhere, anywhere there. Hopefully you'll be a guest on the show someday. Big up. But yeah, I do think that is a good place to actually stop before we go to our next segment, which is going to be our list and our favorite rom-coms itself. So Netanya, big up everything you're doing in the podcast space, and we're going to move it to the next one.
Okay, guys. Hi, it's me again. Remember to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube. You can go to Chat Bout Flim on Anchor FM and listen to us there. We're also on Spotify. We're also on Google Podcasts. We're on most
Apple
places.
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, yes.
You have to throw the famous one in.
And most places where you can find podcasts, you can go there, subscribe, and on Anchor you can donate to us if you feel like. That's cool too.
Give us money.
Okay, all right, and we're back. So now we're going to go into the actual rom-coms,
Woohoo!
right?
But Nets, no, before we actually start the list, Nets, your podcast, you always a bun out, man. Your podcast,
And nothing wrong
bun
with
out,
that.
man. And you know what? Nothing wrong still, but you always a bun them out. But when I ask which topic you want to talk about, you did quick for say rom-com, rom-com to the thing.
And nothing
No,
wrong
he
with that, you
asked
know?
me what my favorite genre was, and I was like, comedy. He's like, okay, you already do it. And I was like, oh.
That is actually true. That
I was
is
like,
true.
okay, I love romance.
And I was like, already did that.
Yeah, he's like, already did that. Then he's like, you know what? We could just merge the two.
It was just merge it too.
But the thing is, listen, no matter how much we talk about that on my podcast, I'm a sucker for love, Like,
You love love.
I love see other people in love. I'm not really, myself.
You know what that works.
So,
Wait, just like how you say,
love for myself. but
just
I
like
love
how you
see
say, you
other
love
people in
Simara
it.
Fly. You don't really want your Mara
Yeah, but I
Fly.
don't want exactly. Like, I love things
Oh,
happening.
wow.
I love my friends having babies, but I'm saying fuck them kids.
Right,
I love, seeing people get married and get engaged. And I say,
That nice.
it's nice.
Yeah.
I love those stuff. So I really do love romance movies, and I really like romance movies because I like crying. So become one ball, I'm watch them like a foolishness. Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to kind of preface that before we start the list because it's interesting because your fans probably know how your podcast stay. And it's like, what you should lovey dovey in?
No, you see, every time them see me talk about stuff like that, they're like, did someone kidnap you? And I have to remind
What
them that,
happened?
guys, I love these things for other people. Doesn't mean I can't comment on it,
Right.
So if you're listening to this, get a grip. Yeah, get a grip.
All right, let's start with one of your movies then.
Uh,
Which one are we going to start
Bridget
with?
Jones' Diary.
Bridget Jones. You know, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
See, like at least 5 times a year.
A year. I thought you were about to say month and I'd be like, you might have a problem. 5 times a year, that's your go-to feel-good movie.
No, you see, the thing is, sometimes I'm sitting down and I just see it and I'm like, oh my God, Bridget Jones, and let me just watch it right now. And I watch all of them. I say, oh God, Bridget Jones, sad. Bridget's sad out, man. And it's like, she's so weird. I wouldn't say she's nerdy because I don't think she is nerdy, but I just feel like she's just kind of desperate in my, personal opinion.
Right.
And she's desperate to the point where she's kind of picky because the men that her mother giving her, she's like, oh, I don't like these men. But I'm like, Bridget, you shouldn't be picky because the people man you're there with,
Right.
So it's kind of like,
Right.
what you really mean? This man's single. But I like the men who she end up with because it's like, somebody who kind of be like, she wouldn't be interested in, or like, they wouldn't be interested in her, but they still find a way to come together. And her life is so interesting. She live by herself. She work this job that people treat her shitty, and I'm like, everything is just wrong with it, and I just love it. I really like those stuff. And she's very awkward and kind of like clumsy and stuff, and I really believe that she is like me. I'm very awkward. I'm a very awkward person. I just thought that they must break out on my shirt a little bit, but she's also kind of bold in doing certain things, and her character is like the best of both worlds for me, and the only thing that between me and her is that she's white. So.
And it's so funny that is how you kind of end that point on, because I remember enjoying Bridget Jones' Diary, but just not finding a lot of things relatable. You know what I mean? And I guess it's the white culture kind of vibes. What year did it come out?
2001.
And
What were you looking to relate to?
just everything about even just the setting of it. You know, I couldn't relate to where they were. But the point I'm getting at is, after going off to college in 2004, I could certain things I just couldn't understand. Like, why would that person do that? Why them going
Some
so?
people like that.
I started meet people like that, and then I was like,
oh,
people fool in real life. Okay, white people, white people, isn't it? And it's an interesting thing to like go back and see again now, because then characters get a little more not even relatable, but I understand. I understand the different cultures. I understand the lack of culture. And what I do find interesting about Bridget Jones's Diary is the ability for that show to kind of feel unique.
Yeah, it really
Like,
does.
I feel like I don't know what I would compare that movie to.
I think Bridget Jones is like one of its kind, to be honest.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a very mayonnaise show. But it's like, you ever get that mayonnaise that is like spicy mayo with sriracha?
Yeah, it's a little
and you're just
spicy.
like, oh, what's this like spicy in the
There's
mayonnaise?
some Latino in there as well.
Maybe not. But I'm giving it maybe more
It's
credit than
the
it deserves.
plainest. Bridget Jones are the plainest of white people, the British. Like, them just
Yeah.
plain. Like,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, the British girls, well, the black ones are, like, really fashionable. But when it comes down to, like, the other ones, it's like, you know, everybody in the show boring, you know? Like, Bridget Jones is boring. But I feel like Bridget is always put in these, like, situations where she just have to find her way out some way or somehow. But it's also good to see because, like, one of the men that, you know, was interested in her was like, you're one of the really popular, you know, high up there type of person. And then she just this regular girl. And then you just say, you know, I feel like Bridget Jones was one of the reasons why I feel like I could end up with a celebrity one day. And you're like, you know, like you just there and you pretend not to know who the person is. And they're like, oh, this person don't know me, so maybe I can like them. Yeah, I'm kind of delusional, guys. So
That's
yeah.
how I feel about Pete Davidson. I feel like Pete Davidson is like my example of just a regular youth who's just like Pete Davidson literally look like him just go and sit on people's couch and just like, yeah, okay.
No, Pete dates
And
everybody.
then end up with Ariana Grande. And then end up with Ariana Grande.
And Kim.
And Kim Kardashian. And everybody's like looking at him like, how? And I'm like, I feel it, bro.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Idris Elba through and through, like,
and through.
like Idris out from morning and night.
Yes,
No,
girl.
I'm not gonna lie. You see, when Idris got married, I was so sad. I've never felt sadness like that before over somebody I don't know. I was so down. I was like, oh
Like
my
your chance
God.
gone.
I am in the yes.
Yeah.
I was in the dumps. May I
You
say?
said you liked being happy for people when them get
No, but not
married.
Idris Elba. Not
No,
Idris
in the
Elba.
movie. In the movie, Shane.
And in like
Not
real
her
life,
man.
but the thing is, them people that want to get married, I don't want them man, but me want Idris. So it's kind of like, oh my God. I remember when he got COVID and she was just in the video beside him. I'm like, why should I move?
No.
Why?
When I saw that video, I was like, that's exactly where I'd be too. I have COVID too, because Idris have
One
COVID.
thing about it, like,
Where it's a cough on your face.
no, but Idris
I don't
nice
move it.
God. But my second like celebrity crush is like James Franco.
Okay.
The man just look good. So it's like,
Okay.
Tell us how
Yeah.
you really feel.
no, he's hot, but then him just kind of weird. So I like it. Whew.
You think Idris should be the next James Bond?
Idris should be my man. I don't care. Well, I'll see what I'll be. Once he's mine, I'm
You're
fine
like
with
Simon.
it.
Focus.
Yeah, like.
Focus.
But Idris as James Bond, I could see because he's actually British, so you know he has the accent. I mean, I say,
Sure.
yeah, he's so versatile.
So the interesting thing with Idris Elba is that I'm a big fan of The Wire, right? And I'm watching The Wire, and I guess I'm not doing the Google research that I need to. I'm just watching The Wire. And then at some point, I see an interview with Idris Elba.
And,
And Stringer Bell is just all British. But the funny thing was, my actual thought was, why am I pretending to be British? Like, why am I busting this?
Simon, I saw a film with him. I don't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
He was doing a British accent. I was like, why is
He
this
wasn't
motherfucker
doing an
talking
accent.
like that?
No, he was doing an accent. I'm with Simon. It's the same thing. I saw The Wire first time I saw.
Yeah, I thought
Big
he was-
Stringer Bell.
I
Never
thought he
did.
was
Yeah.
fully American.
It's the same thing. He's American. He can't do nothing. Colin
Right,
Firth is the
and
same
then
thing.
because he was talking about Luther, another show for him that I like. Have you seen Luther?
No.
You need to
It's
watch
on
Luther.
Netflix.
You need to watch
Very
Luther.
good.
It's on Netflix. It's really good. Wait, oh, it's just a year man and you don't know the man's show.
First of all,
First of all, you don't give a that much.
yeah, like I just want to see him. Like I'm a
That's
watch
why
it.
you
though,
should
'cause I
watch
wanna
our
see
live
him.
Luther is
show.
a good place to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luther is good. Luther is really good.
In his accent and everything.
In his accent and everything.
That my love. Yeah, when Idris came out British, I was like, this man is crazy. Yeah, he came out British. He came out as British.
This is gold.
Because
Just so you know, I'm listening to her and I'm just like, that's a clip.
Yeah.
That's a clip.
That's like the guy who came in, the Daniel guy who came in, I think it's
Kalua.
Kalua.
Yeah.
When I found out he was British, man, I said, this is crazy. These British people, they're such
They
good
need to build.
actors. They
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
get
yeah.
it together.
Yeah.
Because you never know they're not American. American people could never, but
It's
British
terrible.
people could.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't really been speaking about British Joseph Diary, so what's my first one?
10 things I hate about you.
10 Things I Hate About You. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Now, as pasty and mayonnaise as that show is, and as much as I actually hate the Shakespeare play that it's based on, which is Taming of the Shrew, I definitely liked this depiction of it because the idea behind it was just more about the modern teenager in the household and things like that, and just about love. And it was about high school. It was also about, for me, when what year it came out?
1999.
Oof. For me, that was third form for me, and I just liked.
Yes, that was third form for us.
No, I just looked away to think about what I was doing in
Did,
1999.
yo, she just age disrespect me.
No, I just looked away.
Who was it that was doing the other day? Kevin Hart.
Oh, the damn! She just damn me. Damn.
You get the damn eyes.
She should have said it. That's literally what you said to me a while ago.
Yeah.
Judging. Damn. So when I was in third form and that movie came out, I just remember, like, not that it was an introduction to love per se, but it was just we're not gonna. What am I gonna do with Shane? Shane, 99. You left Huey. You're in your second job.
Doing what in 90? I don't even remember.
99 sixth form maybe.
No, I'm out of high school in 99. Dog.
God damn.
Damn.
But I just remember just thinking of, not that this is necessarily like what love was, but just the idea of the effort that was put into people who liked each other. You know what I mean? And Heath Ledger at that time, he was doing that first night. He was kind of putting himself into some of these blockbuster teeny kind of movies before he stepped into some, you know, deeper roles. But he.
I don't get it.
It's a Brokeback joke, man. It's a
Oh, okay.
Heath Ledger was also in Brokeback Mountain, hence deeper roles.
Right.
That's
So
so
before he went into these deeper roles, what I did realize was that he did bring depth to some of these simple movies, you know, and most of it was just based into just doing well with the comedy, doing well with the romance, and just being the heartthrob that he was portrayed to be or played. And I really enjoyed that movie. I don't know, what do you think about that movie?
You know what? Honestly, I don't think I watched that movie enough to have any opinions on it. I just watch it because it was already there.
Right.
I don't think it's one of those movies that I'm gonna like seek out to say, oh, let me watch this. But I did enjoy it. You know, I enjoyed the big sister. I don't remember her name.
Julia Stiles.
Yeah,
Save the Last Dance. Did you see that?
No, I that movie actually hurts my feelings. But
Why? Tell me why.
Save the Last Dance. Oh, to everybody though. She.
That him
This
choose?
plain
Yeah,
one.
like,
That
oh, to
him choose?
everybody. Like, oh my god.
There is a TikTok where
She did play Juliet.
in Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I think so.
We can double check that. I'm not 100.
Leonardo?
With Leonardo? No, definitely. No.
Before her time.
No.
Wasn't she a Juliet though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Juliet?
But it's funny you said that because I saw a TikTok where they're just saying black people watching white people in dance movies, and it's just like a clip of just a man going, and then just the girls going, and then people going,
Is that how you do hip hop?
like and you know what? Back then I thought she was killing it.
No, you
I thought
always
she was
think
killing
that.
it too.
Like,
For real?
I was like, what, 14? I don't know nothing about dance routines and them things. There.
I mean, I think
First
the
of all,
only
for a white girl, she was killing it back then.
Back then,
To
us at our age.
yes.
Is now later on I hear that everybody
She
who
was
was
never killing
not
it for
our
me.
age was just like, what?
Yeah.
You, that was you. Right.
But what I like about her character in 10 Things I Hate About You is that, you know, she really wanted to be seen and to be loved, but she was
Right.
just being this, you know, hard ass because her sister was, you know, overshadowing her in that department. So she always felt a little bit out of it. And, you know, when somebody started to give her that attention, of course, you know, woman still, I'm going to play it tough at first because I'm going to be like, whatever. But,
yeah.
you know, when she finally, like, gave in and she gave into her
She
feelings.
just melt.
It was just like, when she in the costume, she had, oh my God, my goosebumps. But yeah, like when she was in the costume, you know, reading her thing, me I say, like, you love out, you know? Yeah, love out.
Where's the right true, right?
Right true. Yeah, you know, she go like say, she not even, but it was really nice, you know, like the two.
You like the movie, man. You like the little movie, man.
I do, but I love it, you know? I'm like it, but I love it.
That's all right.
You know?
That's all right.
I like the teacher. The teacher was funny.
Very.
Yeah.
The teacher was hilarious.
What's her second one?
13 going on 30.
30. 13 going on 30. You go.
Okay, so I love this movie because I'm not sure. I don't know why I love it, but I love it because I think it was one of the first movies I actually saw, like that I can remember seeing. And people always make 30 seem old, but when I watched this movie, I was like, 30 is when you know, peak in my opinion. And I look forward to being in my 30s ever since that movie. Like I always tell people I don't peak until I'm literally in my 30s. Like I can't wait for me. I'll 33. I know like 33 is not exactly 30, but I can't wait to be like 33. So
yeah.
when I
careful.
saw, you know, and that's true, careful. But I'm saying, you know, I feel like my 30s will be like a better time in my life just because of that movie. And it's interesting to see. It's so funny to see how, you know, how things have like drastically changed. I like those, I'm gonna say like futuristic type of stuff. You can see into your future because I like things being predictable. You know, I don't like unpredictability. Like hate uncertainty. So you know, when I got to look into her future, you know, she got to look into it too. So she, you know, when she came back to being 13, she made the right moves to achieve what she wanted at 30. Because when she wake up and see the hockey player, she never like him. She like her best friend, but they never talked until since her birthday. So you know, when she come out of the closet, she was just like, I would kiss him because I actually really do like the older him. So, and him hot. You know, so I just like him from now. And she, I mean, in the starting, she didn't look a bit forced, because I know she put in a little birthday man. But I understood that she wanted to be her best self. And, you know, when she saw herself at her best self, she realized it's not really what she wanted, you know, and she tried to be better at 13. I love it. And like her high school crush, like, ew. Ugh. Gross. And it's like I feel like it's so like related to real life because you have some people you love them off in a school and you see when you reach adult stage, like my crush, poor him, like my prep school crush, like must seem that man says, sir, you could have looked better because you look better as a kid, you know, like I liked you when I was 9, but like not at 24. It's like
Facts.
like
Facts.
yeah.
Facts.
Being 35, there's so many things that you just never think about at 13. You know what I mean? And I feel like the movie did a good job of making it entertaining, mixing in the romance and the comedy, and then kind of like executing what we could call a palatable movie. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily love the movie, but I like how it was done.
Yeah, and I like that she was still 13 in her 30-year-old body.
Right.
You know, that innocence, like, you know, when, you know, she's
Decent acting,
her friend,
decent
like,
acting
stab her in
for
the
that,
back.
yeah.
You know, when her friend stabbed her in the back and she was like, oh my God, why would you do this? And they were like, but you were the same person. And I realized that she didn't like her 30-year-old self, you know, when she realized certain things after a while. It was like, John, no dog, you have to fix up. Crazy.
Yeah. All right, so what's my second one? Coming to America. Now, I feel like a few people, I mentioned this too, because people are asking, like, what's the next one going to be? And they're like, you know, I was like, oh, rom-coms, and I told them my choices. And there was a lot of, like, resistance, like, Coming to America is not a rom-com.
I mean, it has the romance aspect of it. So, and when you
don't think it's a rom-com?
And when you Google it, it says it's a rom-com.
Yeah, because, I mean, the whole premise of the movie is
him going to find love.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
it's a rom-com.
I think people forget that it's a rom-com based on the fact that it is very. It's a comedy that speaks on the culture a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So because it has all of these culture references, like even the the McDowell's, which is the wannabe McDonald's, you know, and that is
Soul Glow.
Soul Glow. Like it really does go into the culture of Black America deep, and then also mixing in the culture of Africa. You know what I mean? And how that like meshes in America. People forget that the soul of this movie glows through the actual romance that they're trying to find, and the idea of finding proper love rather than arranged marriages and things like that. You know, something that they tried to stick on with the second movie, which they kind of failed because they went too corny. You know,
Way too corny.
they went very Disney with it. I think also Coming to America is nice to look back and be like, oh yeah, that's how comedy was done then. And then to try and redo it now, it's like, we grew up. What I think I found in the new one, I mean, I want to talk about the first one, but what I think I found with the new one was a lot of corporate push. You know, so like they really had to show the Puma, they really had to talk about this, they really had to, you know, and that's the whole G rating thing again. But back to the romantic side of Coming to America, I really do like that Coming to America for me is one of those films where it's just like, figure out who you are. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's one of the biggest problems that I think happens in a lot of, I mean, not that going into a deep talk about, I mean, we can talk about just relationships and romance in general, but I feel like a lot of relationships fail because someone or both people have not become self-aware with who they are. So it's hard for them to really pitch to their spouse or partner who I am, because you're going there with that person and in a few months you're going to see another person and you're going to be like, but this is not the person that was looking me. This is not the person I was talking to at the beginning.
One thing about it, man, I got switch.
What's your face? Where's the man a switch?
No, man, I got switch. No, man, I got switch.
Man, I got switch.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I find interesting about that, if we're talking about romance, and I actually agree with you. I feel like men switch a lot.
Because they don't know who they are and they don't know what they want.
I think that's the root of it, is that a lot of them don't know who they are. However, I think a lot of men also don't know what mask to put on. Meaning, not that they should have to, but I feel like society has told them that they should. Meaning, I've seen in many cases where, because I teach boys schools, you know what I mean? And for them, it's just like, yes, sir, you have to wear this, you have to wear that. Girl like man with money, girl like this kind of success. And for them, they don't even understand what that success is. While a woman might be saying, I want you to be ambitious, but they might read it as success. And a lot of it has to do with not being taught properly by society what that means.
Not only that, it depends on where the man is in life. When men in them 20s, I go switch. Cause a man, you see, by the time him touch 30, 31, 32,
They have different
is
goals.
a different man you look
That is
on.
true.
I mean, I tell you that from experience.
Oh, 30s. Am I the youngest person here? No.
Jamie getting down to it. Yeah.
But yeah, it depends
girl,
on
you're
where you're
probably
in
the older
life.
one.
And it's the same thing for women as well.
She old too.
Yeah.
Because may I tell you this right now, if I am to go out in the dating world and start dating, I would not date a woman less than 28 if I am to take her serious.
Right.
Woman not really find themselves until 28 or 30.
But it's like, for the most part, you're right. Like, the man at 20 don't know what he means at 30. And I still blame the societal push around that. I mean, whatever the factors is, don't really matter. It still come back to the point that they haven't found who they are. And I do think that what slows that down for men is a refusal to be self-aware. The thing that I do find, just to kind of jump back into Coming to America, is that same idea of what wealth and ambition and success looks like. Akeem and what him assistant name? Semi have that kind of fight going on where Semi's just like, why are you hiding all of your riches? Make them braff, na dog. Like,
But for me, Coming to America is like, he wants a woman to love him for him,
Right.
and
Cool.
not for his money. And I feel like that was the main reason.
no, and that's good.
he
No,
was,
yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like the person who them arranged to marry him is because he's a fucking prince.
Exactly.
Literally.
No, and that's why I say the writing with him and his assistant Semi is very interesting, because a lot of people ignore that contrast, because Semi, who is used to being the servant or the assistant or the second to the prince, he's now like, yo, me gonna make a bubble bath in the little room. Me gonna make that girl, you know, say me are the actual prince. Since you humble and you know, and nobody know. Me I just make her think, and he's all about getting as much image as he can. So I think the movie touches on how good that looks. Because also remember, she had the Soul Glow guy who was very successful, and it also touches on the family pushing her towards him. As
And
soon
that's
as the
like
father find out him is a prince,
different
brother,
Switch.
switch. What I say, man, I go
Like a
switch.
Man, go switch, man.
So I found that to be a very interesting, brought in a lot more issues and commentary on relationships. So it's not just romance. As a romantic comedy, I think it touches on all of that culture, wealth,
And
all of that.
I think that's one of the reasons why people aren't looking at this as a romantic comedy.
Yeah, they
because
get caught up in the cultural
they're caught
elements.
up in everything else. Because at first I wouldn't, if I never Googled it, I say, oh, this is a rom-com. Like, that's crazy.
But think about
because for me, it's more of a comedy.
Got you.
Because I'm
Yeah.
laughing and I'm having a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like, oh, yeah, I'm
Yes.
true. Him get a little wife.
Yes,
That's a little
Simon,
attitude.
them get caught up in the delivery now. Because in the
Yeah,
opening
it's a delivery,
scenes,
yeah.
it does introduce itself as a rom-com.
That's not true.
Yeah.
It does introduce
I
itself
mean,
Royal
I'm a
penis
woman.
is
I
clear.
think what I want to do.
Royal penises. Yo.
But no, but what all of those cultural things, it's still linked back to looking the woman, the relationship, the imagery. You understand? So even the barber shop is about him getting a haircut because that's what needs to be done to impress American women. You understand? Like everything still links back to it. You understand? So being in Dowell is a broken down place, and then eventually him have to fight Samuel L. Jackson. So him have to show bravado and strength.
I like Samuel L. Jackson.
You know, so these are the things that I have noticed before. Why I always think of it as a rom-com, you know. But all these culture things, it still lead back to how you court women, how you look at women, and how you present yourself as a man to women.
The
Let's
last
go.
one
Yeah.
is a failure to launch.
You're battling between that and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yes, but I have to
I
like
think you
land
dropped the
on
better one,
failure
though.
to launch.
I think she dropped the better one too.
Yep, I agree.
I really like How to
Your
Lose a
opinion
Guy
is
in
your
10
opinion.
days, but
Can't be nobody else.
I also like Fail to Launch. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, the two of them kind of similar to me, and that's why I was kind of having like a real struggle. Because on one hand, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, it was just an article. It was just about work. Her own is also about working Failure to Launch. You know, say, woman, you know, mix work and feelings, because at this point, we realize the theme.
Girl, that's so true.
Yeah, when the feelings come in,
Preach.
you know, so it's like they're both trying to do the same thing, but them just have two different titles. Like, honestly, it's like, but Failure to Launch, I really like it because it's two ends. Because the guy is trying to get rid of the women, and the women are trying to get rid of the men out of the parents' house. So it's actually interesting to see that every time him carry a girl to him house, it's because he want them for no say, I live with my parents, so I'm careless, and I can just move on. Because once a woman find out say a man live with a mother,
It's
and
rough.
it just done. She's just
It's
like,
tough.
and he's old, you know, and it's like the parents are just like,
But not just a
leave.
mother, an enabler.
Ye-
So it's
Man
not just
who come in your room
yeah.
and I full up your clothes and them something there. Boy, if you don't get like, you know, so it's like, okay, then, you know, she has this job and it's like she's pretending to be in this relationship, and I really love it because, as I said, I love predictability. So you know them are gonna fall in love. You know them are gonna fall in love, but it's like her fight to say, okay, I don't want to fall in love with this person, and that's why I think both of them are the same movie, because she's doing it for an article and she never want to fall in love with a guy. She do the worst things. You know, should I choose that one for true? Because she do the worst things. You know, when women just want a man, leave them alone, and the man just determined. Isn't it the same person in the movie though? Matthew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew
Yeah,
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. What's the way him love start? Anyway, so, but as I'm saying, it's like, you know, she's doing all of these things to make him move out. But I believe that in Fail to Launch, the difference is she's trying to make him into a better man, right? Because she's
must
trying to
stop
get
with
him
that.
to be more responsible, to move out, you know, just to do things on his own that his parents weren't able to get him to do, because the mother was always enabling him to stay. And if a boy I gotta stay with him mother, it's because the mother do all of the things them, and then guess what? He is looking for all of those things in his partner, and she's like, I'm gonna give you up. One thing about it, you know, and it's like, when she left, you know, him kind of, you know, realized that, okay, maybe living with my parents is not what I really want to do. And, you know, him just kind of turn him look at mine and go to doing other things. I feel like I choose it. Because I watched that movie more anyway. So.
What I like about those two movies, I don't love them, but what I like about those two movies, and as you said, the predictability of it, is that people just like nice things sometimes. And sometimes, you know, it's good to just show a film that shows the journey of nice things. You know, and the thing with Matthew McConaughey, that I think why he's a good cast for this, is that he's kind of super plain. He's super plain. So there's no... I personally believe that there's also that mix where people are like, I can see why you don't want to do with this man.
True. Him look
You
like
know?
him not a sense.
He look like him not innocent.
Yeah, because every time him come in a one movie, you see my people look for full role.
Not really. Not every movie. No.
Not
Okay,
in every movie.
okay, when I watch him...
Better than the average.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's no, but I'm like his character in these like Fail to Launch,
in-
Girls of
yeah, in
Ghosts
those-
of Gerben
yeah.
Pass. In those
Fine.
rom-coms, he's literally the same person.
yeah.
And
Fine,
that's what
you
me
have a
say.
point.
But that's not
But no,
his
but I'm saying that's...
fault.
No, I'm saying that's why they cast him for
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You know, if they casted
They want
someone...
the same person all the time.
Right. If they casted somebody who was like a heartthrob or something like that, then the idea would be they must get together. But somebody like him, especially...
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
thing is that he's like Hugh Grant, kind of.
I like Hugh
It's the
Grant.
same vibe. where,
Interesting.
Like, yeah, you know, him
But would you put him as like a pretty boy?
Lots of people use
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
More than Heath Ledger, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
Yeah.
handsome.
I'm no
But then,
I'm
see,
no scholar
into
on that.
but then my thing is that he does other movies like the one with Christian Bale.
Oh yeah,
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire. Where I didn't even realize it was him. But
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
really into the movie and I heard the voice. I was like,
Yeah.
No, but
I think
he's
he's the
good in
only thing I
those
liked about
stuff.
Rain of Fire.
He's
Yeah.
the best thing in Rain of Fire, bro. Come on,
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
I mean, I was talking rom-com specifically. Every time
Okay.
I know him
That's
coming a
what- that's what
rom-com,
casting rom-com,
Yeah.
for sure.
he's gonna play the same guy.
Yeah. That's for true.
And
That's
in
for true.
Southern, you have that little,
Southern twang kind of vibe.
in play.
Yeah, and I am a fan of his acting too, and I do definitely like how they put those movies out.
Love and other.
My last movie, really, Jane?
Yeah.
All right, which is 40-Year-Old Virgin. Fucking love that
Oh shit!
That
I
movie
just
is
rewatched that
amazing.
movie.
It is so funny.
It's
so
really
funny.
good.
And it's still it's longevity. Is what here's the thing about 40-Year-Old Virgin that I thought was great. I think a lot of people ignore bad luck when it comes to relationships. I think when we talk about like relationships, we just talk about, oh, so who's your ex? You know, when was your first time? And we don't look on the fact that some people's social lives just not set up so. Like, so the 40-Year-Old Virgin was just, I think, like, how have you not had sex at 40 years old? And then you have that whole montage of just like bad luck and things that's happening. And it's just like, I get it. There are people who are uncomfortable in social situations. There are people who won't take that step. You know, there are people who just not going to end up in the bedroom. You understand? There are people who just will like that person
She's
and
like,
never...
"Can't relate."
No, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
Next is like, you're mad?
Me?
Yo, no, that remind me. I don't mean to bring up your Twitter too much. It remind me of a tweet where somebody, you said something about like Jamaican man, and somebody was just trying to say Jamaican man don't like you, and you're like, Jamaican man don't like who?
No, let me tell you guys what happened. So I made a TikTok, right? So there was this like TikTok trend. It's like to say something by Moneybag and City Girls. So a part of it, the trend was like, somebody get this perfect guy for you. He has 3 things that you like,
Right,
but
right.
there's this last thing about him that you
Like
just
you kiss
don't
your teeth.
like. You kiss your teeth. So my last thing was that he's a Jamaican. So I put on TikTok, and then TikTok people were trying to drag me. So then somebody was like, "Oh, Jamaican men just don't like you," and I'm like,
No.
first of all, Jamaican men like anybody. Put one breadfruit in one skirt, and a Jamaican man looking dope. Somebody start doing them up because
No,
I'm
but
like,
breadfruit nice.
for sure, yeah. I'm telling you.
But
I'm
breadfruit
saying,
nice.
anything in a skirt, a Jamaican man I go just steep
But it don't
and
have
just
to be in a
start.
skirt because a Jamaican man will look a butch dyke.
That is also very true. But they just want to know
They don't
it's a
business.
woman. No, they
Jamaicans.
exist. No, like, and I'm saying, like, you don't see, you could be walking on the road in the longest skirt and a man see you. babes, your front fatty. How do you know that? You've never seen it. But that's
The
how
way the
Jamaica-
breeze blow the skirt on it.
That's how Jamaican men are. Them just disgusting. So for somebody to look on me and even any other woman in like
Good you.
life, no, I mean like any
Pick up in.
woman and say,
Jamaica men.
I know a sister where she could have on the longest skirt, the way her front buff.
In any case,
It exists, but
no, I'm
consider-
not saying that it doesn't exist, but
No,
I'm just
she-
saying
no,
they
you're
could
just
be
helping
fully
her point.
clothed.
Yes.
You know, and he is helping my point. So it's like somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, Jamaican men just don't like you." Sis.
and that don't even make
No.
sense.
Have you met Jamaican men? Like, go outside, just do that. And a Jamaican man, I go look at woman. Like,
Yeah.
I remember a Jamaican man looking at my grandmother, and I'm like, oh my God, she's old. But he was a good, proper young boy too. I mean, I say, grip, get it.
So the point is that's not nets. 40-year-old virgin is not nets.
No, first of all, I tell people all the time, if I didn't know what I know now, I would still be a virgin, okay? If I knew what I knew about like sex. I said, no, I'm not having that. And I know people who choose to be virgins. Like,
Yeah.
I know people like that, and that's why I like that show. Because the
Yeah,
man
yeah,
in
yeah.
a no rush for have no sex. Like,
And
he's
him just
chilling.
And then whenever things get too awkward, he's just like, yo, I can't.
I'll go leave.
Yeah, he know when
because that's
to tap
really what
out.
was happening in the movie. Like
Yeah.
him find this girl, him like her, them trying to force her with this other girl, and it's just that girl who was driving real fast and vomiting in the car and all of that. Oh my god.
He
Oh
just
my
doesn't
God.
want, and I feel like one thing about him, he know him wants a little old man there, cause he's been, through 40 years of it. Him not got.
I just realized that little old man there she talking about is 40-year-old Steve Carell.
No, but when they were setting him up with the young girl, he knew that's not what he wanted.
Yeah.
So him sure about himself, and I feel like people who avoid intimate relationships for as long as they can, really sure about themselves.
they're sure
like,
about themselves.
One thing about it,
But-
you know what you want.
And what I love about the comedy as well is that there are so many small, subtle moments.
The
that is
jokes
just,
are gonna slap.
it just slap. Like
So many one-liners.
like Jonah Hill coming in to buy the goldfish boots. There's remember the lady, she has this Amazon store.
Yeah.
Where you
Yeah.
can't buy it in the
Yeah.
store. She's like, go to my eBay. It's like eBay store. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, he's like, but I want these goldfish
Can't I just
boots.
get these
There you
here?
go. Mhm.
He's like,
like,
I have the money. And I just remember just dying with laughter with these little moments of comedy.
Like when Kevin Hart went in the store too.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's on. This your boy? This your boy?
It was
Both
really
y'all.
good.
Both y'all.
And even like the sexualization that the manager was putting onto Steve.
Yes.
And he was just like,
Yo.
Yo, she went in.
no, she really
No,
did.
she didn't. And that's a
Yo.
problem. That was the problem.
Yo.
Nothing went in and she was going
Jamie
mad.
living.
is a really great actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
She's really great.
She's
Yep,
really good.
Yep,
Y'all
yep.
saw her in Glee?
Yeah, she's the
Oh
best
my
thing in
god,
Glee.
she is the best character in Glee.
She's the best thing in
I-
Glee. Yeah, man, Glee bad.
Yeah, Glee's so
Okay.
good.
It's bad.
Let's throw it around. Are there any movies that y'all want to throw out there?
Yes, I have 4 actually.
Jesus Christ. Alright, here we go. No, we leave you for last. Gigi?
I don't have any.
Shane?
Maybe 2 when Harry met Sally.
Very nice show.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Wedding Singer.
Ooh, nice one.
Wedding Singer is good
so
too.
good.
I
Good.
love Wedding
Bad.
Singer.
Yeah.
I never remember that movie.
My God.
Mine was
Crazy Stupid Love. So good. So good.
Perfect.
Alright,
Gigi?
throw it all of them.
No, I
and
don't have any. Go on.
Oh, all right. So there's something about Mary.
really
That's good.
I
That's
like
good.
Love that. Love
That's
that.
good.
Like one of my favorites of all times.
Except the zipper scene.
She's oh,
She's all that is good.
she's all that.
Oh yeah, that's.
Yo,
a good
I was
one.
close to adding
You know
She's
they
All
made
That.
a male version to it though. He's
Yeah,
all
no,
that.
it's okay.
terrible.
Leave it alone. It sucks. But She's All That and 10 Things I Hate About You for me were like,
Yeah, I agree.
you know, like they were really close. That was a direct TV era. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your face. Shut your face.
What? I never said.
Oh wait, she couldn't react because she don't know
never know.
she don't even know direct
She don't even know
TV.
to react.
You know direct TV?
Isn't that like a station?
Oh man, no,
You
sorry.
just make us feel so old.
American Pie is a rom-com?
American Pie.
American
American
Pie.
Pie is really good.
American Pie is a lot of rum and a lot of com.
American
It's
Pie.
rom-com. It's
No,
rom-com.
No, done my list, no?
That was like this?
Yes, that was the next one up.
American Pie
American
is
Pie,
really good.
definitely, and The Best Man.
You know, I came close
I
to The
like
Best
that
Man,
one.
but my thing about The Best Man is like it feels like so much more of a heartbreak movie than it is a rom-com.
Yeah, but I don't know. I had to mention it.
No, that's fine.
I think American Pie is really good
It says
because
it's a sex comedy, not necessarily a rom-com.
What, American Pie? Okay.
yeah, because it's more like sex.
Raunchy.
Yeah. It's more raunchy rather than it is like, oh, that's funny. You know?
Yeah, I watched it because I thought it was like really explicit.
Did
I was like,
anybody
I have
even
to watch
hold on?
it.
Anybody Pie? Anybody fell in love? Like,
Yeah. Michelle.
who got married? Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, they got married.
The but in the
Band
first
Geek.
movie, the Bandcamp girl and him.
In the
Yeah.
first movie,
Them
when
did-
they got older.
It's when them get older. It's somewhere about American Pie 3 or something.
Lacoste
like
guy and
that.
Mina
Exactly.
Savari. Yes. Yes, they did it. Okay. I just remember a lot of things not going right.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, that was some good times when I was in third floor.
Wait, American Pie came out in the 90s?
Yeah,
Stop
1999.
Stop stressing me out.
I mean,
I remember watching that.
It is 99.
Yes, Best Man that I said came out in the 90s.
Damn.
Something
I know
About
that She's
Mirror
All
was
That came out
98.
and I know that one came out in the 90s too.
She's All That was.
Harry Met Sally is probably 89.
But Harry Met Sally is a really good movie. Like when I watched
Yeah.
it, I was like, oh my god.
For me, is the mold.
It probably is.
It's
Yeah.
the mold. Cause
Yeah.
I think it probably probably Pretty Woman. They come out. Pretty Woman is
Yeah.
87. Yeah, probably Pretty Woman. They come out.
That should be
I
just.
hated that movie. I thought Harry Met Sally was
Pretty One is okay.
1990.
It's alright.
That's how I feel about it. It's alright. Pretty Woman is
It's
alright.
alright.
But yeah.
half the 89.
But those are some good.
About last night.
No.
Not enough to talk about
No.
today.
You know which two movies are the same exact thing? Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached.
And no, and that was I think
Yeah,
that was
that's
kind
it.
of done on purpose.
Yo, French
Oh.
Benefits is really
Ish, meaning like I don't know if it's the same producer, but from what I remember hearing, like the people who wrote those, they kind of knew each other. Like people, they knew that these movies were going to be put out at the same time, and it was like a race for them to, you know. But yeah, but these are some really good films, and I really enjoyed talking about them, yo. And I really enjoyed. Nets, we might have to do another episode at some point.
I mean, I like talking. I don't mind.
I know you don't. Or maybe we'll turn it into a next chat episode and we'll just talk about how much you hate, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just like, Simon, let me tell you why I hate Uno.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that to your face, but if you start talking some smack, I'm gonna defend it. So
Nothing wrong with that. And nothing wrong with that.
I feel like most podcasts that I get invited on, they always carry me there for like the person who's going to like shut up everybody else. I mean, I said, Jono, that's crazy.
You're just here to have a good time.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is my first good time podcast. I mean, they shut up everybody.
Aw.
But they, you know, them talking about some fool shit and them like, Netanya is easily triggered, so she's gonna answer. Yeah, one thing about it, I'm gonna answer.
Yeah, no, we're not there for trigger nobody.
That's good.
But like the gangster, like you love gangster things, so press trigger, you know.
But
Press
that's
people
so
button.
true.
But with
Like-
that said, we're going to kind of just wrap it up now.
Okay, we have one final question for you.
Okay.
If you had a superhero power, what would it be?
Ooh, honestly, the ability to read minds. Like,
Mm.
I really just want my crush to like me. you
You're
know,
like,
I want to
Idris,
know.
Idris,
You know,
Idris.
like I want to know, like, what are you thinking? You know,
Yeah.
and like sometimes I just be beside people. I'm like, what the hell are you thinking about? Make your face look so. But enough. That's it. I'm just really enough. So I just want to be inside people's mind.
You know
makes
what's
sense.
funny? She's actually the first guest that we've asked that question, and she
Ready.
absolutely lit up.
Yeah. Everybody else is like,
everybody's like,
oh, interesting.
Yo, my girl light up like a Christmas tree.
Because she
like,
probably wake up every morning like, I wish I could read people's mind.
No, it's like,
wish I
I
could read
wish.
people mind.
The thing is, a lot of times I just want
You
to be
do.
invisible so people don't talk to me.
That's mine.
But like, when they ask me, I say, my team both for true, man. I want my crush like me for true. Like, even though I don't talk to my crushes, I just want them to like me back, and I feel the satisfaction of them liking me, and I just move on.
Yeah.
That's
mine
me.
is healing. So like not heal people, but like Wolverine, like skin can heal back and everything. Like.
But I get it.
That's fine.
You know, I get
Oh,
it.
but I do say that I would like be able to heal people too as well.
yeah.
Yes, I have said
Yeah.
that. So like self-healing and healing people. So also that would be like, you know,
What do
live
you mean
forever
healing,
kind
like
of.
physical or like emotional? Okay, no.
No, I don't care what people feels. I don't care what people feel.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
That's
cares
what
about
that-
feelings in here.
That's why your feelings, bro. You see me?
Eh, good one.
And hers is invisibility, right?
Yeah. I just want.
She just want to be naked. That's really all she wants.
I just want to look and be creepy. Just find people.
Yo, I'd be creepy too. Like, you know that Nicki Minaj and Lonely Island song "Creep."
Yo,
Yes.
yo, that's
If
how
I
they
was
shut it up.
invisible, that would be me.
Yes.
You know, I just stare at people at them window like, The penis is big.
Alright, quick go round. Shane, what was yours again?
I don't remember, but I went to change it now, and I would say I would like to control all electrical equipment.
Oh.
Okay, that bad.
That's not bad.
Matthew?
That would be very
I
useful.
don't know what I used to say, but right now I feel like time travel would be mine.
Time
Oh
travel.
my
But you see, like, I would do time travel, but never to the past, because the past don't like black people at all.
Isn't time travel like dangerous though?
In case he changed something, you mean?
Yeah, like what
It
if?
doesn't actually do anything.
I mean, depends on which movie you saw.
Yeah.
It's a circle, and Matthew is a circle, so it works.
Just like say carry foreign disease going a foreign in a back of time and then the world will come dead off. Think about it.
Then we just come live
Like
with,
COVID
we come
never
live with who we left.
That's true.
Or maybe we could have carried COVID to like Christopher Columbus.
But then they would have get someone like measles girl. You know, really worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it. So it's like,
Shit.
yeah.
But nothing
Yeah,
is
but
wrong
then
with
if
yours,
I-
Matthew.
but
Matthew's
if
just
I
like...
could have vax same way.
And Jamar, what was yours?
Mine was mind control and mind reading.
I don't want to make people do things because then they don't do it because they want to do it. But that's kind of...
Idris that way, let's remember.
Yo, she switched right quick.
No, but I'm not switching my superpower though. I'm just saying, I just changed my mind. I mean, I feel like if me and Idris woke up one day, it's
on.
gonna go down.
It's on.
I hate
No,
that.
he not gonna like me, like retro.
After him see this.
Yeah, like why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. We are tack.
I mean, the wife hot though, like it's she then Idris because like I feel like she overpower him in looks. She's so gorgeous, but then she's like the star of the Idris show. But I really like
Nobody
Idris
made this
in
an
me.
Idris episode.
And I'm not.
Alright, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate you. We have this little keychain for you.
We have a gift for you. We'll give all our guests a
Oh,
little
this is
gift.
so
This is a Chat Bout
cute.
Flim cheeky keychain.
Now put it on the key.
I was like, cheeky? What is it?
Do you have anybody you want to shout out or big up?
No, I big
Mer.
up myself.
She been
No,
big up
like-
Idris. She have one person for big up.
No, like
and
I
it's
think
Idris
like
Elba.
man have the money for big up still. Like if I bigging up somebody, I have to big up me. I make
Yeah,
it
big up you
possible.
right through.
Yeah. All right, so big up Nets and
Yeah.
big up Chat Bout Flim. And remember to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, and all the platforms that we have our podcast on. So that's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast.
Podcast.
We're full up our podcasts. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.